Welcome guys to my YouTube channel. Guys, we do this problem. I read the question first. Given that y is equals to x squared z I minus 3x squared zj plus 2xy cubed k, phi is equals to 3xy minus 4yz plus x cubed z. Determine at point 1, -1, 2, the gradient that is of phi and the curl of y. So guys, we start off the question. So guys, here is the question. As you can see guys, we have these two quantities. And so guys, for us to do the first question, the gradient of phi, guys, we are going to use this equation. And we are going to find the partial differentiation with respect to x first. Then we replace for the values of x, y, and z, and we do the same for the partial differentiation with respect to y, and finally the partial differentiation with respect to z. So guys, this is what we are now going to replace with after we have differentiated. And here we differentiate phi with respect to x. Guys, at that moment, the y and z will now be considered as constant. So therefore, this term becomes 3y. And this other term, for this is like a constant, so that is 0. This one becomes 3x squared z. Guys, we can now replace for our value, but before we do that, guys, we can come and differentiate with respect to y. Of course, guys, we are going to replace for y, x, and z, but later. And so we differentiate with respect to y, considering x and z as constant. So the first differentiation, guys, is going to be 3x. This is going to be 4z minus 4z, and this is going now to be 0. We now differentiate with respect to z. With respect to z, this is what we are going to find. Y and x are going to be constant. And so therefore, we shall get minus 4y. This is from this position. And then we shall have x cubed. Guys, from there we now come and replace for our values at point 1, -1, and then 2. For the value of the first derivative, that is the partial differentiation with respect to x. Guys, this is the equation we are talking about. We now replace y with -1, x with 1, and z with 2. And this one now gives us 3. Going to the next equation of partial differentiation with respect to y, guys, we do the same. We replace for x and for z. Therefore, we get -5. Now going to our last derivative, partial differentiation with respect to z. We now replace for y and for x, and guys, we find our solution as 5. And therefore, guys, at that point, our equation, the gradient at point 1, -1, and 2 becomes now this. Whereby now, guys, we write 3. We write 3, and then we write I. Then we write -5, and we write j. 5, and then we write k. This now becomes the gradient at point of phi at point 1, -1, and 2. So guys, we have done with that. Guys, we now come to the second question of curl y. Guys, now we now deal with this equation. And so we come to that equation. This is now curl we are looking for. This is the equation now we are using. For us to do that, guys, we are going to use this equation. And this is the equation of, it's actually transformed into matrix, whereby, guys, we are now going to look for the determinant. And in so doing, guys, we are going to use this series, that is plus, minus, and plus, just as we are used to doing in 3 by 3. So guys, we start off with I. We can close that column, and this low. And then guys, we can now use these four figures. And this is how we do it now, guys. We multiply the major diagonal, that is that diagonal, that is partial differentiation of 2xy cubed all over dy minus, let's see now guys what there is for that. So guys, we have covered that row and this column. So we remain with the d, partial differentiation with respect to y. You multiply by 2xy cubed like that, minus now the minor diameter, which is partial differentiation with respect to z of negative 3x squared z. Guys, that is shown right here. This is what now we are doing. As you can see, we have those figures right here. So we now find the partial derivative of 2xy cubed with respect to y, and we find this one with respect to z. So guys, when we do that, this is what we are now going to find. We are going to have this with respect to y shall have 6xy squared, because this 3 will come here and we are left with the 2 there. Then minus 3x squared with respect to z. Guys, we can actually now come and input our figures. That is, for x is 1, for y is -1, and then for z is 2. And this one we get it as 9. Guys, we now go to the next component, which is of j. The component of j, this was for the component of y, of I, this is for j. And this is at point 1, -1, and 2. Guys, we now come to this equation once again here. For j, we are now going to cover that, and we cover that. Now guys, we are left with these two. We are left with this and that, and that. That's what we are going to deal with in our calculation. And guys, it's right here. As you can see, this is our figures. And remember, this is where now, guys, we are going to apply our negative value. That is negative sign, because as we said, we have this pattern plus, that is plus, minus, and plus when we are looking for the determinant. So this is what now is going to apply. The negative is going to be applied right there. So therefore, when we differentiate, guys, now we get 2y cubed minus x cubed, x squared. So guys, this is our negative I'm talking about. Now guys, we replace for that. That is for y and for x. And then guys, we get our value as 3. Going now to the last. That is for the k component. For the k component, guys, we come to this. We now cover that column, and we cover that row. So that, guys, we are left with only this. This is what we are multiplying the major diagonal product, and we minus the minor diagonal product. And this is what we have, guys, right here. So guys, this is what we have. And now we differentiate with respect to x, considering y and z as constant, and with respect to y, considering z and x as constant. And so, guys, when we do that for this side, you can see now this now becomes 0, and we are only left with this side, which is now 6. This is 2 times 3, 6, minus 6zx. So we just replace for z, which is 2, and for x, which is 1, and therefore gets our answer as -12. Guys, after finding all the components, we now come and write the components here. together with the solution that, guys, after replacing we have found. Remember, the first one is 9 right there. 9 goes with I right there, and then 3 goes with J, and 12, negative 12 goes with K. And therefore, our solution, guys, now comes to this. So thank you guys for listening to me. Bye.